And salutations, class, and welcome back. Warmest welcomes to Kayla, Storm. Glad to see both of y'all. How y'all doing? Double checking. Ah, I did miss something. We have the wrong chat up on screen because the last time we were messing with stuff on the Twitch side of things. Let me go ahead and fix that up. Take that out. And put you back up on. There we go. So, where we last left off, we had just unlocked the ability to get through those little hoops that we have everywhere. We'd gotten through a lot of the area past Drobio! And I don't think we quite got done with the archives, right? Yeah, it was the top of the cog core that we got to. So we still have a little bit more to be doing in the vaults, and up towards the upper left side of the citadel here, there's a whole new area that we haven't gotten to yet that we get to take the chance to figure out what's going on over there. I think while we're this close, we might want to hop back into the vault, though. Just in case there's something real close by, since I do think we have explored most of that area. Goodness, it feels like we've been in this region forever. It's probably been about 4 streams, so yeah, it would have been a month that we've been in this general area. Here's our way down, but this shouldn't be an issue considering we have a real easy way to get back into the vaults. Now I wonder if there's any of those little rings for us to hook onto. That's what we'll end up looking for next. We've got a whole puzzle down here, and we still have never found a map for the vaults. I don't even know where he'd run into one. Judging by how things have been for most of the other locations in the Citadel here, I assume we'll end up finding a map somewhere in here, but I feel like we would have found it by now if it was going to be in a relatively easy to access area. Or I wonder if it's the responsibility of our map maker friend. Because it's really difficult to figure out where we haven't been if we can't see the map overall. Right, we did have a cylinder to play, didn't we? Vault Keeper, I recovered a psalm cylinder in the dark chambers below here. I believe it contains the melody unique to these vaults. I would have you play it for me now. She has visited the pontiff's depths and stolen the sacred song. Where is your respect, Weaver Spawn? Our venerable dead deserve better than to have their chambers transgressed by your filthy foraging. In this moment, Vault Keeper, I've slim patience for your impudence. Either prepare the cylinder and stay silent, or ready yourself to learn regret. Sacred cylinder, alright. The Weaver Spawn, she has found it! Our pontiff's sacred cylinder, stolen from the dark below. Never, states our law, never must our melody pass to a bug not keeper. But you, fool Weaver, would shatter those tenets with reckless ease. Buenera. Your pontiff is gone, Vault Keeper. Your fellows have fallen to husk or thread. What laws once bound these vaults died with them. Enters and sits down. Welcome in, Nobo. How you doing? Ah! Fine, cursed she. Oh, so he is just a misogynist. Claim the sacred song, and pain to you if we both are damned forever for it. maybe this is what we were looking for. Yeah, learned the Vault Keeper's melody. So we did in fact get it. Divine music, the soul of Farloom eternal laid bare, that our cursed age could still receive such blessing. So we respond, our melody is yours now, held in mind to carry beyond our walls. Was the learning worth its thieving? It was, Vault Keeper. And know, to me your service continues. Keep the cylinder safe, along with any others I may bring. So, yep. We did, in fact, complete that part of the objective, even though we have no idea where we're navigating with the map. So already we have the second of 3 objectives complete. Now, onto the completely new area off to the left. Which presumably should be the last one that we end up doing anything with, given that it's the one that requires us to have a whole new ability in order to get through. You finished the level you've been working on. Yep, hold on. This reads like a Baba is you sentence. I have finished level me been working on for a long time, so me very happy because it be good level. Level is finished, me is happy. But I'm glad to hear, Nobo. My schedule might open up room for a stream for Rhythm Doctor in a week or 2. But I'm currently in a transitionary position into a new spot at work. Which, unfortunately, doesn't end up with me having a lot of, time that I have to dedicate to that job specifically. So yeah, this next week is guaranteed to be busy for me, so I won't have too much time to stream. The week after, though, has plenty of time, and then hopefully for many of the weeks that come afterwards, I should generally be on the side of being able to stream for y'all more. Or perhaps I have to do it at unusual times, so, Nobo, I don't know how often you have been in to hear the good news. I've got a new spot at work that will end up giving me a schedule change. 1, that's better for me. But 2, it might even be better for... Heck. I do have a few European viewers. I should have room to start streaming earlier on certain days. Possibly for limited amounts of time. Thank you, Nobo. It's looking to be greener pastures here real soon. So yeah, over to the far left of the cog core is where we're looking. Gotta get past this annoying pair first. You are the European viewer. I know we've got, other folks like Blue Spur, who hasn't been around too much lately. Nope, we don't really have a good way to jump up over there. Oh, howdy be. Hold on. Currently trying not to die. But how you doing, V? It has been a very busy week for me so far. It will continue to be a busy week next week. But it's looking like everything on the streamer front's going to be much, much better. Ah, that takes away our air dash. So yeah, we only get 1 even if we do end up getting hit out of it. I thought he'd be angling that at me directly. I wasn't used to where it'd be throwing it above first. Hold on. I need to get past this one little spot I hate. Bronze here. Hold on. These halls, they haunt your dreams. Has this been a particularly difficult area for you to navigate as well, Braun? Let's see, we don't have any of the little rings to climb up through here. That guy's very easy to skip so long as we get that first hit on him. Finally got proper internet back a few days ago. I saw the post about it, and I'm excited. What I'd give for that upload speed. It would make the multi-streaming a lot easier. Enters and then stands up. How you doing, Storm? And or how was/is dinner for you? I gotta figure out if there's friends who are wanting to play Rogue Core next week. I gotta figure out if I want to play Rogue Core next week. Yeah, because we could end up having a schedule kind of all over the place. Oh, right, those are the alternating platforms, so that one wasn't active at the time. It's been a hot minute since we were in this section. And again. Alright, just to make this a little bit easier, let's go ahead and... There we go. Just had to have a moment of peace to look down. We've got a bench to heal that coming up anyway. How dare you, good sir? Oh yeah, it's right here. So, no worries to be had. Yeah, we've got... Yep, here they are. A nice little moment of peace and tranquility. How is everyone doing in the chat? You just end up spending a lot of time here? Yeah, I mean, it does end up being basically a central hub for Act 2 is what it feels like. So far, I have loved this region more than Act 1. What has been my favorite spot so far? I did like Greymore quite a bit. Mostly for a lot of the extra jumping that we ended up doing. Ah! The Cog Core has given us some pretty great music to listen to, and, I mean... So far, it looks like I enjoy the platforming in this game more than the combat. I think that ultimately ends up being my assessment of Silksong. Oh, those are outright corpses. So do we air dash and then... There we go. Ah! His children, they're holding down the neutral. I'm gonna assume each one of those has a different formation they go into. No, he has the same tell for multiple different actions. Okay. Looks like we gotta get rid of the central guy more than we need to worry about all of his little minions. Yeah, he's bringing in all his little scrimblows to attack. Looking like a teapot. Oh! Missed the ring. Luckily, we've got our save right before we got in here. It's gonna be difficult retrieving that thread, though. We didn't have too much trouble the first time. Alright. I think we gotta air dash and immediately. There we go. As long as we get up there on the corner. I wonder if it's his animation that gives us the tell. Yeah, because he holds his needle going backwards for that one. We hadn't looked down, but I'm going to assume it's far easier to go up from once we're already up here, rather than try to go down and then come all the way back up. Our save spot isn't too far behind, so this shouldn't be too much of an issue. Your friend has been making a few more custom characters for Rhythm Doctor, so thankful and surprised at how well it worked out. Let's go! I look forward to giving another chance to do some more Rhythm Doctor stuff. We were doing basically all custom levels last stream, right? We still have a whole bunch of night levels and such to do. Room looks awfully familiar. Anything you're particularly proud of that you've been working on with your friend? The big level you finished, you have some file editing to do. Some shenanigans on the level, got it. Did I explicitly thank you for the tuition, by the way, V? If I hadn't done that yet, then very explicitly thank you for, 31 months! We've been here a long time, wow. Yeah, in about a month, we're about 4 weeks on the dot away from my 5-year anniversary. And starting from tomorrow, luckily tomorrow I should have a shorter shift to work with. I'm gonna start making plans for the 5th anniversary stream, which I'm thinking about just making another big Minecraft server with everyone. I don't think I want to do a lot of the same routine that I've done the past few streams. One, I have been working a lot more lately. And while I would love to make a big celebration, I kind of want it to be an easy to set up one. End up doing one thing for the whole time, basically. But yeah, basically had my first taste of the new position today. We're going to have to needle a lot sooner, got that. And while it ain't perfect, it's definitely better than what I've been doing for the past 3 years. I'll be getting a lot more money, too. I think as I get to spend more time in the new position, I will end up getting more accustomed to it and I'll end up liking it a bit more. You know, you head into training into a new spot and it's like, oh, this is a bunch of confusing stuff to get used to. I also was not on a good shift today. I was still doing opening. So unfortunately, still very early in the morning for me today, and the biggest difference, we'll be seeing how things go with starting next week, where I end up being able to, well, go to bed at a reasonable human hour. I've been zombie moding for 3 years. It's also such a huge surprise to think about. 3 years that I've been doing this. And 5 years that I've been doing the streaming thing. You know what the best part of all that is? I see myself doing this for a much longer time. Who knows? With this being a pretty unprecedented time for a lot of people, it's difficult to think in challenging platform at the same time. Who knows? Maybe we end up having a lot of streamers who end up continuing to do this as they get older and older. Yeah, it's been 3 years for... Well, I mean, like, it's been basically 3 years of a lot of the same stuff around here, Novo. Oh, so we can't cling to those walls. Oh, okay. Gotta figure out what the heck we're doing. Well, only way to go is down. Wait, if we... Oh, we glide. I keep forgetting. So, we don't use this enough for me to remember it being commonly in our repertoire. Also, it could be the fact that I only played this game 1 week in between sessions, so... A lot of the niches in our moveset I end up forgetting over time. I was hoping we'd have more updrafts to ride the air current with. Otherwise, it doesn't seem like we end up having to use the glide too much. That should also make a lot of these platforming sections way easier. That big level, the reason you had to do some file editing shenanigans was to get the eyes from Mark's boss fight level. I assume that's not a normal asset you're able to get? Use it like Bang Glide in combat? I've never played Bang once. Like, I've once messed around with him in training mode just to get the shenanigans with him having the theme song that kicks in when he goes, overdrive at low health. Like, I thought that ended up getting a good laugh out of me. But I suppose it does end up making a lot of the jump over a boss situations a lot easier. But yeah, thank you for the consideration, B. I'll see where I can fit it in more. Eyes used to be unavailable until they added them in an update later. We've got a... Yeah, we can't jump high enough to get up there. I'm excited to see what ends up happening, Novo. Is it going to be a situation of like... Oh, I found this ham sandwich in the fridge. Oh, no! No, Ian. That's Edgar's sandwich, and then he's got the boss fight jump scare. I'd like to have my thread back, thank you. I think the best way we handle Edgar, especially with him being very unlikable, we need to make him funny. Just make him a character we laugh at. Okay, so it seems we throw out the needle a lot lower than I usually anticipate. So we just jump higher and then... There we go. Comes out at about waist height, not arm or shoulder height. Maybe that wouldn't have been the best place to test it. That was actually me just trying to hook on. Why is there just a piece of bread on the bridge? No, Ian, that's Etica's bread. Yeah, this was to get to the little treasure chest. The walls are bouncy too. Well, at least we got our stuff back. Okay, this wasn't nearly as bad as I was worried it was gonna be. I was like, this isn't one of those platformer hell games, I know that for sure. Yeah, it's challenging, but they haven't explicitly spent a large amount of time trying to murder us. The bread pops in a row with pie bees. Have you done anything with irrational time signatures? And I don't mean irregular, I mean absolutely irrational. Something that can't be put into a ratio. Shell plates and cogs that could be fashioned into a flying automaton. Construct tool. Well, we don't have the item for that anyway, but that was one of the things that we used for a lot of the, like, crest upgrades. Yeah, these. The editor doesn't support fractional numbers of beats per bar. Aw. Okay, but could you approximate it with something very, very huge? I do feel like that's something you would have tried. Almost immediately if it was possible. I thought I was going to back up a bit more. We started a dash input, and you can't cancel a dash until after you've traveled a certain distance. That's what that ended up being. Oh, is it actually possible but just inconvenient, Nobo? Is that what you're saying? We need to hang on here a lot longer. Remember that we gotta have time for the thread to come back. Every time we delve deeper in, it's gonna be difficult to get back there. So we need to strictly improve. We'll wait until we take one more hit. Well, yeah, now we're out of thread, so we can't even heal. Should have healed before we hopped off here. It's definitely possible, it's just that the bar structure won't line up with the song, which could be slightly confusing when editing, but not really. Off the top of my head, I don't know anything in an irrational beat. Supposedly there's some sections like that in certain parts of Mother 3, I hear. I've still never played Earthbound. I feel like it would be one of the Nintendo games I end up liking the most. But yes, that is something on the list eventually. Oh, well, there goes our stuff. I forgot that we couldn't jump off those walls. Someone made a pie time signature for a pie song. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, there's a lot of games that I've never had a chance to play. I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it was a habit learned from growing up with not much money to spend on games, let's put it that way. I ended up adopting a mindset of, oh, what's the game that I can get the most amount of time from by spending the least amount of cash? And that's why I'm fond of a lot of those indie roguelikes that take 300 hours to get through. I mean, yeah, I'd probably played things like Dead Cells for 600 hours in total. Oh, I didn't even know he could throw that back. So yeah, there's plenty of things like Castlevania, Mega Man that I still haven't had a chance to go through fully. Or it could be the fact that I've just spent like my whole childhood playing Elder Scrolls games, which you can get hundreds of hours out of. Very long freeform RPGs. Still a huge player to this day. In fact, I've been thinking, with us having to vary the schedule around with my new position, maybe I end up starting a new Oblivion stream. Not the remake, I think I'll play the original, one for it being a lot easier to run, and two for it having that much mod history to work with it. Yeah, I like the difficulty of, oh yeah, well, there goes your resource. Oh, I am being attacked by a cat. Someone printed out an Edgar and put him on the swing set. Oh, howdy, Brian. What's my opinion on Silksong? I don't know that you want to hear it. I am notoriously far less of a Hollow Knight enjoyer than many of my contemporaries. But my opinion so far, since now would have been the buffer of time for you to depart, if that is an answer that upsets you. This kind of stuff, all the challenging platforming, I think has been the highlight of Silksong so far. I think the combat, and I will say even the boss fights, are the weakest part of this game and Hollow Knight. So probably the parts that people remember and enjoy the most are the parts of Hollow Knight I enjoy the least. The combat always feels awkward. I don't like the design of endurance bosses when the bosses only have like 4 attacks. It ends up being a lot of, oh, just do the same thing for the whole 10-minute boss fight. It might actually be 5 minutes and such, but it does feel like it takes forever to get through a lot of them. Silksong is definitely a huge improvement over the first game. I can't even say that I enjoyed the first Hollow Knight that much, but I am enjoying Silksong so far. Admittedly, mostly for the exploration and platforming. The combat, I think, just outright doesn't vibe with me. I can see why people are enjoying this, though. Just like how everyone should see how I enjoy this Skrunko, who has decided to interrupt us once again. But yeah, for the 20 hours I've played so far of Silksong, that is my assessment. As far as Metroidvanias go, I have gotten to the point where I see the charm, but I don't think it's for me. If it was like, if you took out half of the combat sections we've had so far, like half of the boss fights, and replaced that with more of the difficult platforming and exploration sections, I think this would be an absolute favorite of mine. But as someone who's accustomed, and as a disclaimer, I am someone who tends to play games that are designed to be complex. So the very simple jump and swing kind of gameplay that we get from this, it does not vibe with me. No, but you like the cogwork dancers because it's a kind of rhythm boss fight, I guess. Granted, they're attacking in a pattern which pretty much every boss in this game so far has been doing that. Oh, already in trouble. Another thing, I do like that this is a game that expects so much from the player. Personally, I don't think we've had any shortage of difficult games in a long time. I know a lot of people ended up liking Dark Souls for being unapologetically difficult when it came out. Walking home with Gundam, let's go. Also need to make sure that Skronko stays away from the keyboard. I did like the cogwork dancers. As far as boss fights have gone so far, I enjoyed that one. What was the tangent I was on before I ended up getting hit? Yeah, I like that this is a game that is, by its design, difficult. I just don't find the difficult part of it engaging. If that makes sense. Like, have y'all ever played those kinds of games that end up being great on one difficulty and then you try one of the more difficult, one of the higher difficulties, and it's literally just, oh, spawn twice as many enemies and they have twice as much health? To where at that point, yes, it does become difficult, but not in any interesting way. And yes, Cat has reached across keyboard and start pressing things. Let me see. My cable isn't particularly long enough, so I shall grab this cat very much. So, yeah, I think that's a big part of it, V. I grew up on... Let's see, what did I grow up playing? I mean, obviously the first answer is Mech Warrior, but what other examples do I have? Had a lot of... I was on PC until OG Xbox era. And yeah, I did play the Mech Warrior games far more than anything else. I had a lot of Lego puzzle games and such. Indeed, yes, Kitty is being very obnoxious and in the way. For the little bit of Mega Man stuff that I have played, I have enjoyed that so far. I think I might be able to get along with things a lot better if it's like this kind of combat, but you're a shooting character. I think it doesn't quite gel with me so much with my single biggest complaint about Hollow Knight altogether, both games. I think every enemy hurting you just from touching you, even when they're not attacking, is outdated and poor game design. And in a way that I acknowledge that is fundamentally a subjective opinion, but I consider that to be on the more... I hope I'm using these words correctly. On the more objective side of subjective opinions. Meaning, I think that is something that fundamentally can be applied to a lot of games. I think that if it's a game with this much mobile and kind of hopping around combat, that if a character has a number of other attacks that it already does, I don't think they should hurt you just by touching you. I do think that is explicitly a bad choice. Yeah, that is a privilege that gets extended to, like, spiny enemies and Goombas that only wander around and such. But with everyone moving and jumping around so much, even the enemies that you have, there's situations where you end up getting knocked into an enemy or an enemy just bumps into you that wasn't in a way that you could measurably predict. The biggest complaint I have was actually from last stream. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting VOD. Let's call this one Xander Complains for an Hour. Robio, who was a fun boss fight, but I definitely have had the biggest problem with him so far. There were a number of situations where I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was us doing a vertical attack from above actually caused him to bounce in a way that damaged us. So after we landed an attack, they bounced back and collide with us, and then we ended up taking damage, and we ended up having 2 KOs from that situation. I think that's just actually doing it wrong. And like how I didn't end up having too much of an issue with Axiom Verge, for example. I think a big part of that is because, yeah, you're getting to jump around and use a gun, so you're expected to be at a medium range with all the enemies. In this game, though, like the central mechanic of the thread, refilling whenever you land a melee attack, like, this is a melee combat game, and I really don't think that just bumping into enemies causing you to take damage, being the case for every single enemy, I think that's the wrong choice. But yeah, I look forward to Mega Man in the future. Definitely, like, with Castlevania and or Mega Man, I want to have sections where I end up doing a whole huge arc playing those. Trace also has all the mobility of a middle-aged quantum physicist compared to Hornet. True. Trace does not get... Well, he does get an air dash, but like 3/4 into the game. Also, what? It was like 2.5 years that we played Axiom Verge, right? Okay, time for Xander to complain about a different subject. Where has all the time gone? You will lock in for the Mega Man Xander arc. See, that's been the plan for whenever I have a far more consistent and reasonable schedule to be able to stream for y'all, which of course could end up coming up now. Though I still will end up having like closing shifts half the time. I don't know what it's going to be doing for schedule. My biggest hope that I've been wanting this entire time, basically. Did we come full circle? I think this is just back where we entered the area. Yeah, I think we'll explore in a little bit of a circle that we've got. There's got to be a branching path that I missed somewhere. And luckily, without the enemies in the way, moving around should be a lot easier. We get that? But I have not forgotten about hopping back on more Castlevania. Was it just Symphony of the Night that you're fond of, V, or is it Castlevania stuff in general? Because for what I remember, you were... Wait, that was also 2023, wasn't it? That we were doing Symphony of the Night? I want to ask what happened to my streaming for most of 2024 and 2025. But I have my answer. It was Mech Warrior. It's hard to believe so many of the other streams have been vanishing in that time, too. But yeah, you're a Metroidvania connoisseur, right? Yeah, one of my other viewers, Kahila, has been absolutely wanting me to play Aria of Sorrow. One of the other reasons I've held those off is I do want to be at my best potential whenever I'm streaming some of the best games for y'all. Also, why I put a hold temporarily on playing the best of the classic MechWarrior games for a while. I think, yeah, this autumn is when I get back into it. Especially considering we got through MechWarrior 2, which is a lot of people's favorites, but it's also kind of weak and simplistic in design. We got through Ghost Bear's Legacy, which is the worst DLC. But coming up next on the classic MechWarrior stuff is MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries, followed by MechWarrior 3, and that is the two best games in the series, back-to-back, no contest. Which, if you have any remote interest in mech sims, this goes for any of y'all. I would love y'all to have a chance to watch, because I'd get to ramble on and on to y'all about how much I love those games. Especially 3. Up until I ended up playing Dead Cells, 3 was my favorite game of all time. Like, until 2018, that was 19 years uncontested. That was like, this is the best game I've ever played. So, Mega Man, Castlevania, what else have I been putting off for a lot? A lot of other indie games like Slay the Spire, various RPG Maker game type things. That looks like a boss arena off to the left. Good thing I had my little bit of savviness to rest there. At least it's easy to grab a whole bunch of rosaries again. A machine displaying a model of the Citadel. Yes, I will take a map. Yeah, we still never got one for the vault. Okay, yeah, this is looking like a boss fight right before we get the last item that we need. So yeah, like Axiom Verge 2, other indie hits like Off or One Shot, or there's one game that's been sitting in my library for... Oh, Lisa. Lisa's the one I've been teasing for a long time, but I'm like, I want to be able to do this when I can be at my best for it. And luckily for everyone involved, I should be able to be at my best from this summer onward. I took up my current work position mostly as a... Hey, just give me any job to be working right now. And I don't know if any of y'all can relate to this experience specifically. Have y'all ever been in a troublesome enough work position that it's like, this is bogging me down so much that I don't have the energy to try to get out of it? Granted, I think fundamentally I work for a good company, but I was definitely not doing a job I should be doing. Not a job I am fit for. Yeah, I think you can get that, V. So it ends up being either a situation of I have the energy to get out of this situation either if things get much better that I have extra reserve energy on the side, or if things get so much worse that I have to get out to save my own health. And in this case, it's kind of been both of them. Yeah, unless it's a job that you're really, really good at, I would say that 3 years has consistently been the amount of time I've been in any one position at a job before deciding, hey, yeah, I want to change something up. Pretty much every job that I've had so far, I've only held for about 3 years. I was never fired from any of them after that period of time. It's just 3 years, I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to do something different. So I think that ends up being a good metric that after 5 years of streaming, I plan on doing this for so much longer. I know I love this. And by this, I mean streaming. Hard for me to think when I'm being assaulted. Quick, use the thread before it's gone. Ha, can't steal what I don't have. I can't tell where his hurt box is. I was hoping the legs weren't going to poke us. But yeah, I think you get the idea, V. You're in a spot that you're afraid things could be worse, and so you kind of don't want to leave because it bogs you down enough that you don't really have the energy to put time or effort into doing something different. But it's also not so horrible that you absolutely have to be out there. Yeah, a rut, simply put. How dare you, good sir? It is so difficult to reach around cat on keyboard. Whole bunch more thread for us. Alright, Cat has gotten to the snuggly point where he's like leaning on my thumbs now, which is interrupting my input. So, come here, sweetie. I love you. I love you with all my heart. Can we get some purring for the mic? Because we have not done that in a while. I don't know if y'all can hear him. I know the noise canceling usually gets him, but as long as I keep talking, maybe y'all can hear him in the background. Oh. That one went through. Alright. What a sweetheart. He's been constantly in snuggle mode for about 2 years now. I hear that ends up being something that a lot of old cats end up doing. Ah, close. We didn't need the cat holding us back for that one. But yeah, I'd like to thank all y'all, since I know a lot of usual friends and regulars are around right now. I want to thank y'all so dearly for sticking by me during this, admittedly, like 3 years worth of rut. Streaming is still the highlight of my day, absolutely. Aw, much appreciated, V. I love all y'all with all my heart. And my hope is that one, having a job at hours that I should be normally awake for, will one, do a lot better for my energy. And I will be able to put more into streaming for y'all. Rest well, Novo, and thank you for hopping by. You know what else I keep forgetting we have? That. Ooh, all the way from downtown. That was practically off screen. I couldn't see which direction that one was angled. So yeah, oh. We are sitting at about the time for our first break, so let's go ahead and do that since we have a good stopping point here and I'm just about out of tea. I'll remember what subject I was on once we get back. See y'all in just a moment. in retrospect, I probably should have left y'all in a spot that had a lot more background music to be listening to. Yeah, because it's awfully quiet around here. Alright, back to things being quite full of volume. Yeah, we were going off to the left. So another thing, remember that we have the bigger super attacks. These guys generally aren't that much of a problem. I wonder if there have been a whole lot more crests that we just haven't come across so far. As long as we get rid of that guy. Lots of thread for us, lots of it. I was wondering when these guys would show up. Oh, is it gonna be the big guy? Oh, this guy's completely new. Yep, that's what we gotta watch out for. Since he's twice as big, his attacks are gonna do twice as much damage. We're also rapidly running out of shards. We're gonna have to figure out how to do that one section with the 3 flying enemies real soon here. Wait, I think if we switch to a different one of the special attacks, just the one that hits around us, because with a lot of the mobile enemies around here, it's kind of harder to hit them with the spear. Yeah, Thread Storm. Maybe give that a try. How many more? Let's see. We do have another memory locket. I feel like we'll be with this one for a long time, so... why not double up on our blues? After all, who knows when we're gonna find the next crest. Alright, and here we go. I'm trying to pogo off of the flying guy. Of course, he keeps jumping out of the way once I start getting close. Alright, fresh start. There we go. Sometimes more than anything, you just need a good cycle. You want your thread? There's your thread. Yeah, that's a lot better for this fight specifically. I feel like in every other one we've gotten a lot more mileage out of the spear. But given how many flyers we've got around here. Ah, not quite. We've just out of the way. Don't really need to worry so much about these guys. Immediately got another spinner to worry about. Alright, I think we're getting a bit more progress on this one. That's what, the third time we've gotten to those guys? Let's see. Yeah, I do think just using the special attacks a bit more is the method. I mean, we'll get better about it every single time we have a new run. Hey, we actually hit someone with that flash that time. I was beginning to worry that we'd not actually get anything out of that little ability. Yeah, get ourselves a real strong start on that one. Hey, got him with the flash there too. Yeah, that's the most reliable way to get rid of all of them. Almost felt like we could have avoided it just by being underneath. Ah, nope. Not from there. And jumped right into us. I guess definitely the last fight, though. We're doing real good so far. Almost there. There we go. We are getting better, way better. Now we only gotta deal with this guy solo, which ends up making it a lot easier. And here we go. Probably was a bad idea doing it like that from the start. And again, caught by the same thing. Yeah, we've been here like, what, 30 minutes just for this one section? Difficult little gauntlet, but this is... Or the last song is what I'm sure it is. Alright, lock him in. I wonder what kind of bugs these are supposed to be with the one long horn. Now for the big part. As long as he's backed up against the wall, we have a lot more room to dodge. Just barely. Oh, it's still not over. And what's the opposite of being saved by the bell? Ruined by the bell? But welcome, Marky. Glad to see you in. How you doing this evening? We have been getting wrecked at this section for a long time now. $50 stream streak? Heck yeah, Marky. Yeah, it's been a heck of a time, V. I thought the big new guy would have been the last enemy, but no, we got faked out. Alright, heal. Pardon the lack of dialogue, I am trying to lock in. And before we fall behind. I had a feeling. Yep, this is the one. Howdy Zen, can't talk, gotta lock in. Anyone who's played this game would recognize this section. Okay. Don't tell me it's gonna be. Oh boy. Like that. That was not something I deserved to die for. Alright, how you doing, Zen? Let's, not play the game for a bit. But, what's on your mind? What's on your mind? I was enjoying that right up until we got to the point with the big hammer guys at the very end. Both of them. Just racing horses? Heck yeah. I might have to get that a lot more of a play on my phone. Well, like, I don't know if I want to be playing that game off stream. We still gotta finish our Taiki Shuttle run. From like, what, 5 weeks ago? Ah. But I hope you're having a good time. I currently am not. Calling it good would be pushing it, but yeah, gaming does have its ups and downs. Right now it is very much in the downs section for me. At least we keep getting our stuff back every time we go back in. But yeah, as is the design of this game, just about every problem we can solve by slamming our head against a brick wall enough times. Brute force is the name of the game. That's how you tackle Uma. Yeah, I mean, for a game that can basically be a roguelike at times. A game that has you gambling that many times by just statistical probability and law of large numbers. Eventually something's bound to work, right? But their car... Okay. Tell me about that, V. Elaborate that one for me. Yeah, if it's a Hollow Knight stream, then V's usually in here. Huge favorite of his. We all became gamblers the first time we booted up Strive. Does it count if we were Exerd players previously? I feel like the mix-ups are nastier in Exert, but you don't eat 60% from every single one of them. Danger time. Okay, absolutely. Oh hey, that actually destroys the projectiles. Got it. Bells. And here we go. I'm not having fun. I wonder if this is the Ornstein and Smo of this game. The big filter. Because, yeah, this is definitely the one that we've had the most trouble with by far. I was hoping that would KO him. Looks like we were one swing away from that. I think it's the little bell throwers that annoy me more than anything else that we got. Since when do you actually attack and not just steal thread from me? Get out of here with that. Alright, take a swig. Oh, right, the cat is still on screen. Even though he hadn't been here in a hot minute. Let's get you out of here. Where'd you go? There you go. Brother kept warping around the whole place. That was a really good hit. I agree. Nah, is how I feel as well. Also, my chair keeps sinking into the ground. I was feeling that in the middle of that last boss fight. Alright, one more try, success or fail, we will hop on a break afterwards. Wrong place at the wrong time. Well, as I said, that is time for our next break. So, be back in just a moment, y'all. We'll get through this. The stream doesn't end until we get through this. I think we're only like 2 or 3 attempts away from it, though. Alright, see y'all in just a second. Alright, and we made the same mistake of sitting here in the quiet spot again. Yeah, we've been on this one fight more than an hour. This is longer than we've had for any other boss fight so far. Because we ended our last break in that same little spot. Thanks for the welcome back, Pete. Oh, we only needed the one hit anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of situations where we try to run away, but what we're running from ends up being just about the same speed, so it's not like it's gonna be making a difference. Those guys seem to mostly have a blind spot underneath them directly. Yeah, no, we've lost our momentum by taking that break. All the focus I'd built up before, well, half of it seems to be gone. I think we're still doing better on average than we were before. You know what we could do? We could switch to the other crest. We've done that a number of times that we've had trouble with some of these fights. Especially, once again, since we have so many vertical enemies to contend with. Being able to hit actually slightly in front of us should fare a lot better. We aren't getting too much out of the Sawtooth Circlet, so we're not going to worry about that. Everything else looks the same. This will make some of the pogo situations more difficult, but I don't think we necessarily need to rely on that. Maybe it ends up being better for us. I think that actually makes it, since we end up having a lot more horizontal movement off of the dive attack in this one, I think it should be a lot better for maneuvering around, actually. Just using the different crests might be the answer. Yeah, we're doing worse by this point. I think we have gotten really used to the hitboxes of the other crest, though. I didn't even know that had an area of effect when it landed. Almost. One thing I do like about the combat, though, is that the enemies do play footsies. They do try to actually flip away from you as a melee character trying to close in. Unfortunately, we're on the back foot enough that we kind of don't get the chance to risk doing the special attack. One down. And I feel nothing. Alright, is that it? Is that all we're worried about? A visitor! Now this is rare. I must apologize for not rising to greet you. After an age spent sickly, I find myself unable to lift from this bedchamber. Thank you, V. That was atrocious. I'm not gonna be polite about it. I hope, good pilgrim, our citadel has shown you the courtesy deserved of a bug, devout.
Da, Fenestra.
I've borne its hospitality well enough, aged one. Ah, my sympathies, pilgrim. We have fallen so far, and now, sadly, if you've come seeking aid or understanding, I fear I too shall disappoint. Whatever you would ask, I have only my melody left to offer. It is a simple thing, the smallest of gifts, but perhaps more special now, for it has been rarely heard in these quietened times. Learn the conductor's melody. Our song upon a silken thread. Such beautiful sound, so long absent from our halls. Keep safe our melody, good pilgrim. You shall likely be the last to receive it. I wonder why the walk is so much slower here. I hope he gets well soon. Alright, and we have the shortcut back to the coral chambers. I want to see what's up top over... Wait! That was... Yeah, no, that would be a shortcut going back. Because that was that one section at the very, very faint corner right after we got in here, where there wouldn't have been a wall jumping path to get up to the top of that section. Alright, so now that we have all of them, we need to go back to the center, right? Yeah. Oh! I forgot he was that close. Up above? Game whose main character is weird, put into certain art forms with unrealistic proportions. Unfortunately, that is the folly of certain games that have female protagonists. But welcome back, Swarf. Pilgrim of Farloom Eternal, you rare chosen who hath ascended to this final threshold. Listen to our wish, deliver it, that you may rise above and see your pilgrimage end. We would hear the song of the architects at the core of our citadel. They who sustain our realm, its walls, its floors, and its voice, even as others fall silent. We would hear the voice of the keepers within their grand vaults. They who guard our history, our prayers, and our secrets, across the ages. We would hear the melody of the conductors high in their gleaming towers. They bearing the heaviest mantle, who would guide our land ever on to greatness. Pilgrim who would hold our song within your shell, rise above. Offer your most devout self unto our sacred heart. Sounds like that's Act 2. Off we go to New York. Oh boy. Is it time for more Yuri? I mean, fair. Welcome back, Braun. Yeah, I suppose that's what I should have expected. Let's try keeping with this crest for a while. I don't really know that overall it makes a difference. Yeah, we allegedly get more thread with the other ones, but I don't think it's a particularly significant difference. I don't know that we have a quicker way back here than any other option. I guess we come across the top here. I'd like to at least have the save point over there by our usual little hub. Yeah, especially because it's not that long of a romp to get back. In both cases, we run past two of these bow guys. Okay, yeah, we just need to jump a little bit earlier. Because jumping over them is different depending on which crest we have. With the other one, we can kind of attack them a little bit closer since we stall and bounce a lot easier. Alright, Toxic Yuri Part 2. So she's got a few attacks where she swings at you twice. So 2 health points removed. Yep, that one's also going to take a while, I imagine. We'll give this another try or two, see if we can get up any rhythm, but having 2 big boss fights like that back to back, I think I would like a break in betwixt. Okay, so yeah, she does do quite a few things differently. She's basically Orie from Uni. Does that include the Toxic Yuri part? I also, like, since the last time we played V, I still haven't picked up Uni again. Right, that was something I wanted to bring up. I was too locked in on the previous boss fight, but as part of my new work schedule, V, there will be a lot more situations where I might end up on a closing shift and still want to stream. Especially if I have a lot of closing streams for that, closing shifts for that week. So with that, I might be popping in around, well, it would be like 2 hours past our usual time, so it'd still be like 2.5 hours from now when I get to show up. But I'm thinking that gives me a much better time to, if it's that super late at night, see if I can fit in like a short fighting game stream. Do something for just an hour or two, rather than try to dedicate one of our big slots to it. Because yeah, I like doing the 3-hour stuff on average, and another good part about the new position is I can probably redistribute my time to where, since I won't have to get up at 3:30 a.m., have a lot more spots where I do like a long 5-hour stream on buffering a bunch. Maybe that is a good sign to stop. I'll DM you afterwards, V. Let's give it this last good college try and then be out. Okay, never mind. Alright, that'll be the end of it then. For tonight, we shall focus on our Toxic Bug Yuri tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Next stream. Next time we're booting up in here. I am admittedly and visibly on tilt after that whole gauntlet and then following it up with another fight like that immediately afterwards, so let's just get a raid going onto our friends. Yep, I'd say onto our friend Jay, which our raid message will be Toxic Bug Yuri, of course. Which always deserves a bit of attention and announcement. Heck yeah, V. I have overall... I know I just said I'm on tilt, but I am overall in a really, really good mood. Anytime I get to stream for y'all and see so many of my friends once again. I'd be repeating the same things I've been telling a lot of the other folks watching for like the past couple of weeks. I'll hop in your DMs, V. Tomorrow is going to be Tomodachi Life, which will end up being an extended stream because I start my new position officially on Monday with a closing shift, so I get to stay up super late as much as I want. Tomorrow, specifically. Mostly closing shifts as well next week, so I'll figure out what to do about that. We might have to make it a light streaming week. Or just do things super late at night. Thank you everyone so dearly for your attendance. Class is dismissed.